New Zealand announces opening of border to visitors earlier than planned. Our video update for today brings you the good news of New Zealand's early border opening. New Zealand's Prime Minister, Jacinda Ardern, recently revealed the good news of reopening the country's borders to most tourists. The announcement and its timing were well received by the citizens and tourists of New Zealand, since this would mean that the reopening time frame would move up considerably. A previous reopening plan specified that until July 2022, nationals of Canada, the UK, and the US wouldn't be permitted to visit New Zealand. However, fully vaccinated Australian tourists will now be able to visit New Zealand starting from April 12. Also, fully vaccinated tourists from countries, including the US, can travel to New Zealand from May 1st. The Prime Minister stated that they are ready to welcome the world back, and that New Zealand will be ready with open arms. The strict closure of New Zealand. New Zealand shut its borders in March 2020, during the initial period of the COVID-19 pandemic, and has remained so since then. While the closure is awarded merit for saving countless lives, it also came at a steep cost. New Zealand is renowned for its stunning scenery and adventure tourism. Undoubtedly, tourism is a multi-billion-dollar industry, responsible for as much as 16% of the country's annual gross domestic product. However, those numbers plunged during the pandemic due to the lack of tourists. Prime Minister Ardern had stated that, over 2 years ago, closing their border was one of the initial actions they took to control COVID-19. They have now received advice that it is safe to significantly move onward to the next stage of their border reopening work, which is their tourists. She stated that the reopening would stimulate their economic recovery throughout the rest of the year. So how is accelerated reopening possible? According to New Zealand's Ministry of Health, more than 96% of New Zealand's population above the age of 12 is now either wholly vaccinated for COVID-19 or have received a booster. Although according to the Johns Hopkins University of Medicine, on March 17, New Zealand reported 14,148 new cases of COVID-19, that number is dramatically less than the country's record one-day high number of 39,840 new cases, recorded on March 11, 2022. The timeline for reopening. New Zealand recently declared that, starting from 11:59 p.m. on April 12, fully vaccinated Australian nationals and permanent residents can come to New Zealand without the requirement of isolating themselves or entering a managed isolation quarantine facility. Then, starting at 11:59 p.m. on May 1st, fully vaccinated travellers from visa waiver countries like the US and visitors from other countries who already possess a valid visitor visa can come into New Zealand without the requirement of isolating themselves or entering a managed isolation quarantine facility. For complete details about tourists visiting New Zealand, follow the link in the description below. Lastly, let's tell you what you must know before you go. If you are considering traveling to New Zealand, bear in mind that the country has witnessed a recent rise in cases of the Omicron variant of COVID-19. However, the daily and weekly counts of cases remain lowering. We have reached the end of today's video update. Like, share and subscribe to our channel for more latest updates. Thanks for watching.